I just look like I'm tough, and I'm not. Hey guys, I don't know what to say. I'm stressed out. Hey guys, it's Josh the Goods Woods. You can check me out on. Wait, when does this episode come out so I can say that? Hey, what's up, guys? Oh, wait till you stop laughing. Ready? Don't laugh anymore, dude. It's distracting. Hey guys, it's Josh the Goods Woods from Ring of Honor, and this is the Battleground Podcast. No, don't do that.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to the Battleground Podcast. And, it's an exciting time on the show because, well, we're welcoming back somebody on the show that was on the show a year ago in June, but he was on with another guy that kind of stole the show during that interview. But Josh Woods is on the show. Silas kind of stole the interview from you last time you were on the show.
That's impossible. There's no way. Silas just disgruntled and angry. He has no personality. No, I'm kidding. He doesn't.
But Josh Woods joins us from Ring of Honor. Josh, man, how's things been hanging for you, man?
A little to the left. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I'm a child. Things been great, man. I'm glad we're still kind of doing things. Like I wish, we were more open and had fans and stuff, but been just training a lot, wrestling and lifting, and I just bought a house. I'm just like doing all this stuff, and I have to be an adult now, and it's weird because I just want to play video games and eat cookies all day.
Right. I mean, and congratulations on getting the house. And you talk about being an adult. You got a pretty sweet Miley Cyrus tank top on right now, right?
Miley twerk team on.
That is the best thing in the world. Of course, there's a lot going on. You say Ring of Honor is not having fans and you wanting fans, but I got to say Ring of Honor has done really, really good during this whole pandemic, and everybody that we've had on from the Ring of Honor roster has spoke highly of management and Ring of Honor, and the fact that Ring of Honor kept everybody on payroll and didn't decide to say, you know what, we're gonna lay people off.
Yeah, no, that's incredible, man. That just as like cheesy as it says, it's like the honorable thing to do, and I was like, Ring of Honor, oh my god. But like, yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. This is like a really hard time for everybody, and just the fact that they've been able to do that for us is phenomenal. And just says kind of a lot about them as a company and as a whole in general. So, I mean, I'm not unhappy about it, though.
Right. And that was the cool thing is that they took care of you guys. And that says a lot about a company when they've done something like that. And, something really cool is you have a prolific background as an amateur wrestling. And, of course, 4-time All-American and collegiate champion. So what drew you to wrestling, not wrestling, as we like to call it here in the South? What drew you to wrestling when you were young?
Good old wrestling. I watched it a little bit growing up. I wasn't like a diehard fan like everybody else was, right? Everyone's like, oh man, I could tell you who main evented in WrestleMania 3. Like, well, I've never seen WrestleMania 3, so I don't know. I kind of started watching it towards like the end of the Attitude Era, like when Brock was kind of coming in. That's like kind of like a little span of where I watched it. So I really enjoyed, like the shenanigans, man, like with like DX and Stone Cold come out with like the little what's that little gimmick for the it's not a Zodiac. Is it called Zodiac? The little ice thing? Whatever that is.
Which the Zamboni.
Oh, yeah, that thing. He would like come out and then like he ran across it and like dude, I don't know. That's like the kind of stuff I enjoy. I thought that was really sweet, and just like kind of all like the tomfoolery and more so like the wrestling. And it was like, okay, cool. But it's just like that those kind of shenanigans really were interesting to me, and I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, and growing up, like I grew up watching wrestling, especially being here in Nashville, going to the fairgrounds every weekend, and it's kind of funny because now it's like, back then you didn't want to tell people you were a wrestling fan because people would make fun of you. It's kind of like when they would be like, oh, you've got a Creed CD? That's that. Oh, no, that's not mine. But deep down, you listen to Creed.
What's wrong with Creed?
No, I'm not saying anything's wrong with Creed. It's like when people hate on Nickelback. Like, there's no reason to hate on Nickelback either.
Right? Like, I don't get that either, man. Like, Dark Horse is a really good album. People are like, oh, Nickelback's not good. It's like, okay, well, you're an idiot.
Yeah, and I try to tell that to people. It's like the cool thing to hate on Nickelback. But if you ever go to a live show, you will understand why Nickelback is awesome.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm a big fan. I think they're pretty cool, man. Like that. What's his name? Chad Kroeger had that cool collab with Josie Scott when first.
Yes.
Hero.
And people keep saying that killed Josie Scott and Chad Kroeger's career, and I'm like, how? Like, that is from Spider-Man, and that is one of the most iconic movie songs up there with like Evanescence, Bring Me to Life.
Yeah, man. People just like to hate on stuff, dude. I don't know, man. It's just if you like it, you like it. No shame.
Right. Oh, man, it's just ridiculous. Josh Woods is our guest on the show right now. And, as a member of the 2012 U.S. MMA team, were you ever approached by MMA organizations, kind of like UFC, probably to join their ranks? And, you did some time there. But how did you feel their training and training for pro wrestling differs and is similar?
I was personally never really approached by anyone. I'm not sure how that works because I never really pursued it after I signed with NXT. But it's so different. Like you can compare them, right? Like apple and oranges. They're both fruit. They're both juicy. They're good. It's just so different, man. And there's so many more. You can with MMA. It's athleticism, really. Like cut and dry. It's athleticism. It's who's better today, whose technique was better, who hit harder, who was more crisp. Where like wrestling, there's so many other things to think about on top of the athleticism of it. You just got to work cameras and crowds and psychology and put things together, man. But like if I'm going to fight, it's like, well, I know I have to win. I know I can't get hit as much, and I have to, counter this, and that. So I think that just the mind game alone is a little different as far as like a very, very big stretch of things you have to like, kind of worry about. So that's a little more stressful.
Right.
Because like I didn't do any of the indies like prior to NXT, and and I've been doing amateur wrestling since 2001. So just like at that point, it's just you're just a machine, just doing stuff.
Yeah.
When it comes to pro wrestling, there's so many things you have to think about, and there's just constant growth. You constantly have to. Oh, if I watched this match from last time, and if I did this a little different, maybe I'll get this reaction, or this didn't make sense, so let me put it here. So you have to like think about those kind of things, and that's like the hardest part and the biggest difference for me.
Yeah, for sure. And it kind of a complete different thing, because with wrestling, you can, if you mess up a move, you can recover really quickly. But in MMA, if you mess up a move, you could be, put to sleep.
Yeah, no, you're done.
So there's no, little errors that you could have in MMA, but in wrestling, you can just, mess something up, end up on Botchamania's Instagram page, and then you just continue on with your match,
You just hope for the best, right?
Yeah. You mentioned your time with NXT, and kind of take us back to your time at the Performance Center. What were some of the fond memories that you had, and who were some of the names that you were able to learn from in and outside of the ring there?
I mean, I had a really good experience there. I know like a lot of people kind of have different opinions on that. There wasn't anything I really was like, oh man, I hate it here. I really enjoyed like how regimented the schedule was, just coming straight out of college, and wrestling from there, and then having like kind of a regiment really helped me a lot, because like I like to learn. I like being in that environment where it's like, hey, you got to be here at this time. You have to do this at that time, and yeah, there's a lot. There's so much, and just coming in, it was so new for me. I was like, ooh, give me all this stuff. I want to do everything. Oh, we got yeah, like I wanted everything. But there are some guys who are already really good and they just want to wrestle. Like they don't want to train. They don't want to, have to sit and watch film and stuff. And that's cool, man. Like some people are just really good. Some people just love wrestling and want to wrestle. So, I get both sides of the coin. I had like a really cool, so, because like the amateur stuff, you're automatically kind of grouped in with those guys. Like we each have like a very natural chemistry with everyone. So Sawyer Fulton was there, Tucker, Gable, Dawkins, like those were kind of like the bigger. I think was there anyone else? Yeah, those were like the kind of the main like amateur guys. So like we were kind of all like really cool no matter what, because we have that background together,
right?
And so like, that was really sweet. So I learned a lot from Gable. Like Gable's amazing, and I wish I would have been able to work with him once. That would have been like really cool. But we got to train a lot, and we did like one like PC match together, which was pretty sweet. But I think it'd be pretty cool now, just how far I've gotten, and then to just kind of where I started would be pretty sweet. I think Gabe's would like it. Ascension, those guys were really cool to me when I was there. I was really eager to learn, and I'm still cool with them now. They live out in Tampa, and that's kind of towards where I'm moving. So it's been really cool to kind of hang out with them and catch up with those guys. Apollo was really cool to kind of hang out and like just talk to, because his indie experience is way different than a lot of other people's, and he was a very like humble guy, and I got to like work a lot with him. Elias.
Yep.
Oh, poor Elias. So I'm like, poor guy. What a chance. So we're kind of learning, like I got a little more advanced a little quicker just because my background, so I learned very fast. And I sound so arrogant, right? And I hate it. but it's true.
No, this is your show, so you say whatever you want on here.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It just sounds arrogant, like, oh, I learned so fast, I'm so good. But I wasn't really that good. I just pick up on like the physical part, like the moves and things very quickly, just because I've been taught wrestling moves my whole life. So it's just, here's a different style of wrestling moves.
Right.
So I'm learning how to like pull punch it or make them more safe and like look good. And I remember I hit Elias like a couple times, like pretty stiff. I'm like, oh my god, dude, I'm so sorry. It happens, dude. It happens. Like, oh.
You're like, oh, I'm about to get a receipt later for these.
I'm getting that. Corbin was actually, Corbin was really cool, man. Like he didn't really get not he didn't get along with people, but I can see how people didn't like him, and that's cool, man. Not everyone is for everybody, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Too. But I had a pretty good relationship with Corbin, so I kind of learned with him. He helped me a lot. I never stiffed him because I was very scared. So, so I tried really hard to like not be crappy with Corbin. So that was pretty sweet. Man, that was so long ago. I'm trying to think like who else was like very influential. Of course, Adam Pearce and Norman, Robbie. Those like were kind of like coaches I like really was with the most and was able to learn from them a lot.
Yeah.
Adam is phenomenal, and Norman, like, yeah, those guys are great. Sometimes I'll still bother him. Hey, can you watch this match? And so I'm like, yeah, sure, fine. So
yeah, but that's kind of a cool thing though, that you're able to still kind of hit them up and they can still help you out with stuff. And something also really cool, and I know we've kind of touched bases on this last time when we talked, but we've a lot of people coming onto the show new. How were you approached by Ring of Honor to be a part of their top prospect tournament?
So I did a tryout camp for them, and I guess I did not do bad because here I am. But it's me. So yeah, I did pretty good at the camp. So I kind of got that opportunity pretty much from that. Like I flew myself there. I put myself up in a hotel. Like I did the camp, just like a lot of other people have in the past, and that really helped me a lot, and that got me noticed because. I was never really on TV with NXT. I didn't really have like a big time frame in between NXT and then the indies where I was doing stuff, because they have the non-compete with NXT. You can't just go straight from NXT to working the next day. You can't do that. There's certain people have different times. I think it's like 90 days or whatever the thing is now.
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything. So in between that time period, like like right when that finished, I think I did the camp, and then that's kind of one thing led to another, and the snowball effect, and then I did okay.
And here we are. You're on this sort of okay podcast tonight. So, last year we were kind of sitting here thinking, it was like, what was the last wrestling show that we went to on the show? And it was when Ring of Honor did their show here in Nashville right before the shutdown went, because it went from Nashville to, I believe, St. Louis, and then after St. Louis was Vegas, and then everything kind of shut down.
Oh yeah, I remember
and
that. And gone for the titles, and they cheated.
Yes, and we were like, "What the hell just happened?" So what kind of challenges did you face last year when the pandemic kind of forced everyone to take time off? And like, how did you stay in ring shape? How did it feel to return? And what do you think the future looks like with fans slowly coming back?
So during the pandemic, Florida's like the Wild West.
Right? Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Right. I mean, you see in the news, a Florida man does this, Florida person does that. I've been in Orlando for a long time. I think since 2007. That's a long time. It's 14 years. I made like a lot of really good connections, and it pays to not be a sack of trash. So that's just news for everyone. So if you want to just be a good person, and a lot of good things happen for you. A couple of my buddies own different gyms, and I was able to stay in shape, like in the gym, and to do a lot of MMA training as well, like because some of the, like, the wrestling schools were closed. So I didn't really get out of shape per se. The first couple bumps back were like a little, oh God, why? You know,
You're like,
that was
oh,
like, oh God, yeah.
I remember this.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, that's what that feels like. Oh, yeah. So that was that. But that helped me a lot. Like that kind of helped, like the what's the word? It's like some people get like real depressed. They're like a lot of the guys that are like wrestling is their whole life. You
Yeah.
know, and there are guys like they feel it a lot more than others because they've been doing it way longer than me, or guys that are just like, man, I just don't know what to do with myself. And I was starting to get that a little bit, but like with the MMA stuff, and then like doing a little more amateur things with my MMA friends, that kind of helped me stay like kind of leveled out. Like I didn't get like really depressed or like sad or anything. I missed it. I missed because this is like our life, and like I loved it. And I was like, oh, maybe I should go back to MMA and train. But then I was like, oh God, I'm so rusty. I haven't done that in a while either. So
Just go out there and just kind of have fun for a little bit, but
yeah,
don't take it serious.
yeah, that's what I was doing, man. I have like a couple good friends that like are competing actively, and guys that are pro fighters, and guys signed with UFC that I was able to train with, and it was cool just to kind of roll around and goof off a little bit, because just it's like in every other sport, there are some guys that have egos, like they don't want to get shown up or whatever, and I think once you can decide like who's not going to hurt you. I'm like, hey man, like I don't do this. I don't care. I don't care if you tap me out. You can have it. Like I'm not. Don't break my arm.
Right.
It was more fun for me to kind of roll around like with my friends that I haven't been able to kind of get in with a while, just because our schedule was picking up and whatnot. So that was kind of fun, and like I still miss it a little bit, because that competition mindset is still I love it. I love competing. It's definitely fun for me. And going forward, now that things are starting to kind of open up a little bit, they're not, they are.
Or you could be like Texas and be like, the hell with it. Everything's 100% open.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, why not? I don't know. I don't know how everyone feels about that. I think it's kind of cool. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right. Popcorn, right?
Yeah.
I'm just hoping, I know we're taking the right steps. I think we're taking a little longer just to make sure everyone is safe, and that should be everyone's priority is safety, man, especially for the athletes, talent, production, like everyone that should be the number one priority for everybody, is keeping everyone safe and sound. So not rushing it is a good idea in my opinion, but I'm ready to be back to kind of some sort of new normal where we have some fans or something like that. But I miss it a lot. I'm ready.
Yeah, for sure. And it's, you start seeing some other stuff putting fans in there, and it's kind of, you get that good feeling, but at the same time, like you said, I mean, you got to be safe. And that, I think Ring of Honor, when you look at everything that's taken place over the past year, I think Ring of Honor has stepped up and has kind of set the bar high on how to handle everything, like the Ring of Honor bubble. And, when we were talking to the bouncers, like they were talking about how, you get tested several times while you're there.
Yeah.
And they're like, there's a lot of downtime, but they said that they feel so safe, and like everything is COVID is not a thing to them when they're there in the bubble, because everything is perfect.
Yeah, it's very, very efficient and safe. So I mean, I don't really have a problem. I'd rather take 100 COVID tests in a row and get my brain poked like a mummy and be able.
I mean, once you get past that first test, it's not as bad because you know what's coming.
Is it though? I mean, like the first one I had to do it myself, like in a proctored thing. So like they send us the kit, and then they have like the exam, like the person on the Zoom call. So you're trying to do it, and some people like don't go up enough, and they have to redo it. And like that's oh snap, dude, sorry.
Yeah.
So you don't go up there enough, and it's like you gotta get in there. And like I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, like the first time that ever happened to me, I was sitting there and I was like, oh, this isn't so bad. She kind of stuck it in there, and then she like shot all the way, and you could feel it in your brain. And I was like, oh, okay, thank God it's over. She's like, no, we gotta get the other nostril too.
Hold that there for 10 seconds. Like, oh my god, what?
Like, and if you move, you have to redo it.
It's microwave seconds, dude. They're brutal.
It's pretty rough. Something really fun that wrestling fans have been talking about is this forbidden door that's been opening with other companies working together. Now, is there anybody in another company that you would like to get in the ring with, like a dream match right now? Josh Woods versus.
Is anyone even ready to do that? Like, actually, man. So when Kenta first got to NXT, I think he messed up his shoulder, I believe,
Mhm.
and he got taken off for a little while. And because I had finally not been crappy, like that was okay. I got to kind of like, so when you get hurt, they have like very protocols for whatever everyone, if it's concussion or injury, you kind of get back in very slowly. And like some of the guys like will roll with like the people coming back in. So I got to roll with Kenta for like a while. And like for me, I'm like, oh shit, like
This is Kenta.
yeah, dude, it's Kenta, man. He's phenomenal. So like I spent like a lot of time, like a couple weeks doing like hours with them at a time, and like, that was like really cool for me, like just learning how to just not be anything crappy. So I would love to work Kenta like at some point. I think that'd be really fun. He hits hard, but I'm pretty sure I hit a lot harder than him. So
Well, let's throw that out there in the universe, because I mean, it seems like last year we started seeing Ring of Honor slowly working with NWA, and NWA is coming back, and it seems like a lot more people are kind of being more open to working together, which is a great thing for wrestling fans. So we're seriously hoping that we get Josh versus Kenta sometime down the road.
that would be great, man. I would love that. That'd be so cool, man.
Man, I'm just sitting here thinking about that match. Like, I'll just go ahead and say, let's do a 60-man Iron Man match. You want to do that with Kenta?
What? The 60?
No.
Jeez, what it look
Or
like?
do we want to have it ROH pure tournament rules?
Pure would be pretty fun. Yeah, I don't know. It's maybe like a 30 minutes. Let's go somewhere in the middle, right? Like
30. Let's do 30.
That's a lot of
what is kind of I guess what's next for Josh Woods? I mean, we're still fresh into 2021. What are your goals in ROH for this year?
I'm pretty sure I'm not sure what's airing right now. What just aired? I think the second match of me and Dalton is about to air, or it airs this week, or it already aired. But that airs, so that's fun. I said this in a pre-match thing. Like, I love the pre stuff we're doing, like the more like kind of backgroundy type things, like before matches, and more character pieces, I guess, which is, I think they're pretty cool. And I know I said this before that I guarantee in like 2021 I'm gonna have Ring of Honor Gold, and that's still very real for me. That's not something I just said like, oh, let me say this cool line because it sounds cool.
Yeah.
No, like I've been a champion, in like everything I've done. So it's just kind of like, oh, this is the next thing you can win. It's like, hey, let's do that. So either it's getting back with Silas and going back for the tag thing, or I'm really into the pure thing right now. Like I love it. I think that's been a very successful showing for myself. And like if it's like, hey, one or the other, I'm like, pure wrestling.
When we found out that Ring of Honor was bringing back pure wrestling, and then we saw that belt, we were like, who would be the perfect person? And we thought the entire time on this show that it was going to be Josh Woods winning the tournament. We weren't thinking that Gresham was going to win it. We thought this was the perfect opportunity, perfect thing for Josh to win.
You're only saying that because you have to.
No, I'm not saying that because I have to. No, when we found out the tournament, we saw the bracket. Eli, who's my co-host, who's unavailable at the moment, we texted, and I was like, just go ahead and pencil Josh all the way in. Like, there's nobody else on here for this, that this is Josh Woods wrestling written all over it.
Stop it. Keep going.
So I think that's going to be the thing, because, I think Gresham is going to slip up here soon. And I think, people, when we've had people on this show, they go on to win the titles. And I think that Josh Woods is going to win that Ring of Honor pure title.
What movie is that with Dane Cook where he can't?
Is it Good Luck Chuck?
Yeah. You guys like the Good
where
Luck
he like, well, but we don't sleep with the wrestlers, but we just make sure that they get on there and they, get that title.
Yeah, it's like the same thing. Yeah, man. Like Gresham is arguably one of the best wrestlers in the world. He's phenomenal. I would put him like right up there with Jay, Daniel Bryan. Those are just like, he is freaking great. And anytime I'm in the ring with him, I sometimes it's like we'll watch like his other stuff, and I'm like, man, I don't even know how to wrestle anymore. And I'm like, they're so good. And then like when we have matches, it's just like I always feel like I'm learning or thinking differently, and he elevates everyone he wrestles with. And when that match does happen, and it's gonna happen, like it's gonna happen. It has to happen, right?
It has to happen. Maybe we get it at the 19th anniversary show.
No.
I
don't maybe. Like, I don't know. Yeah, so like I don't know, that's kind of like where I want to be at, man. Like I think at some point, like that's just gonna solidify like what I've been doing, and what's next for me would be beating Gresham. That's kind of like where, you know, I open up my locker to work out, and there's like a picture of Gresh. I just look at it, and I get really motivated to do stuff. Yeah, that's
that. Well, Josh, we do appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk to us. Where's the best place everybody can find you at on social media? Where do you want people to follow you?
You know, you can creep on me if you want at at Woods is the Goods on Twitter and Instagram. Those are my things. Slide in my DM, say what up, but don't be weird. Or be weird. I don't know. I like weird stuff. It's kind of fun. I get a lot of weird stuff, but I can't talk about it.
We'll have to save that for when we're not recording, but
we'll go on after this.
Yeah. Well, Josh, we do appreciate you stopping in the show tonight, and we think 2021 is going to be a big year for you. That ROH Pure title is going to be around your waist by the end of the year. I'm going to go ahead and call it right now on the show.
Yes. Thank you, dude. Thanks for having me. I always think it's so cool when people want to talk to me, because I'm like, I'm kind of a weirdo. I'm not that cool. So it's cool you guys want to have me on again. So thanks a lot.
Man, thanks for coming on the show, Josh.
Oh, my pleasure, man.